salt was a rare and precious commodity in the ancient world. Empires were built on the salt trade. Wars were fought over control of salt production, and fortunes were made by entrepreneurs who knew how to manipulate the salt markets. La sal fue algo raro en el mundo antiguo. Muchas personas ganan mucho dinero por la sal. Y muchos imperios se forman por la sal. It's true that people needed salt to survive, especially in warm climates where its role as a food preservative was absolutely crucial. But the process of producing salt for human consumption was very, very costly. The vast mines that had made salt into an inexpensive condiment for our modern dinner tables had not yet been found. But even if they had, the ancient world lacked the technology needed to extract salt safely and in large quantity from thousands of feet below the earth. Before the advent of the internal combustion engine and the development of powerful earth-moving equipment, salt mining was dangerous work that was typically delegated, of course, to slaves and prisoners. And I mean lots and lots of slaves and prisoners. The life expectancy of an ancient salt miner was never more than a couple of years. And that was why salt was produced for human consumption, most of the time through the labor and time-intensive process of evaporating seawater. It was much safer, and in the end, not quite as expensive as trying to get it out of the earth. Of course, however the salt was produced, there was an enormous expense associated with transporting it to inland markets via caravan routes that were always long and frequently quite dangerous. So no wonder the cost of salt was so high. No wonder this staple of human existence became a luxury item prominently displayed on the banquet tables of the wealthy and the powerful. Personas necesitan sal para sobrevivir, es la realidad. En el mundo antiguo no fue fácil producir la sal. No fue fácil, fue muy caro producir la sal y también fue muy peligroso producir la sal. Las personas que trabajan para esconder la sal fueran personas que no vivan mucho tiempo, no vivían mucho tiempo. Los esclavos y los prisioneros que fueron usados para esconder la sal. Ellos mueran muy temprano en sus vidas. En la mayor parte, la sal fue producido por evaporar la agua del mar. Pero esto también fue un proceso muy caro. Y también transportar la sal de un lugar a otro lugar también fue muy peligroso y también muy caro. Y por esta razón, la sal fue muy cara para cada persona. Y los ricos y los poderosos usan la sal como un señal de su poder y de sus ricos. So what does Jesus mean in the Sermon on the Mount when he tells a bunch of poor people, because that's what they were, that you are the salt of the earth? ¿Qué significa Jesucristo cuando él dice a muchas personas pobres que ellos son la sal del mundo? Por lo mínimo, él está diciendo a ellos que ellos son preciosos en los ojos de Dios. At a minimum, Jesus is saying to them that they are precious in the eyes of God. But they're not precious in the way that a diamond or a piece of gold jewelry is precious. They're not precious just because they are rare and they are shiny and they are pretty and they cater to human vanity. No, they are precious in the same way that salt is precious. They are as rare as diamonds and gold. But their value is not found in their rarity alone. Their true value, Jesus seems to be saying, is that they, like salt, are absolutely crucial for human survival. You understand what I'm saying? Jesus is saying to the poor people on the mountain, you are as necessary for human survival as salt is. The world desperately needs people who will listen to the Word of God, who will heed the Word of God, and follow in the footsteps of Jesus. The problem is that these people are far too rare. These people are far too few. Jesucristo está diciendo que los pobres, las personas que están escuchándole en la montaña, ellos no son preciosas en la misma manera en que un diamante o oro es precioso, sí. Ellos son preciosos precisamente porque el mundo necesita estas personas en la misma manera en que el mundo, la humanidad, necesita la sal para sobrevivir. El mundo necesita personas quienes son muy raros, que van a escuchar a Dios y que van a seguir en los pasos de Jesucristo. El problema es que las personas que quieren seguir a Jesucristo son muy raros en nuestro mundo. Now, I want us to notice a few peculiarities about Jesus' assertion that his followers are the salt of the earth. First of all, Jesus does not do what I would do. Jesus does not hedge his bets. You don't hear anything conditional in Jesus' words, do you? He doesn't say, well, you might turn out to be the salt of the earth if only you believe this doctrine, or if only you pray this prayer, or if only you engage in these religious activities. Jesucristo no dice a las personas en la montaña que es posible que ustedes puedan ser el sal del mundo si ustedes oran estas oraciones, o si ustedes crean estas creencias, o si ustedes hacen estas actividades religiosas. No, al contrario, Jesucristo dice, ustedes son la sal del mundo, de la tierra. No importa quién sea, no importa dónde vivas, no importa la lengua que ustedes hablan, no importa cuánto dinero ustedes tienen, no importa el estilo de vida que ustedes sigan, no importa su estatus legal, no importa su edad, no importa su condición física o mental. Ustedes son la sal de la tierra. Usted, todos de ustedes, aquí y ahora, como ustedes sean, no excusas. Ustedes son la sal del mundo. So I want us to, in those peculiarities, that Jesus' words are not conditional. He doesn't say, you might be the salt of the earth if only you believe this particular doctrine. Now, Christians are really good at that, you know. If you don't believe like me, you're not really a Christian, so bye-bye. But Jesus doesn't say that. You might be the salt of the earth if only you believe this particular religious doctrine, or you pray this particular prayer, or you engage in these religious activities. Quite the contrary. Jesus' statement is straightforward and unequivocal. You are the salt of the earth. Whoever you are, wherever you live, whatever language you speak, however much money you earn, however old you are, whatever lifestyle you follow, whatever your legal status, however you define your gender, whatever your physical ability and condition, you are the salt of the earth. You. All of you. you are, without making any excuses whatsoever, without making any changes whatsoever. You are the salt of the earth. So, I'm going to invite us to try a little bit of an experiment. I'm going to invite us to affirm this reality that Jesus affirms. And I want you to affirm it as though you really believe it. So in a minute, I'm going to ask you to repeat some words after me. I'll ask Sarah to move forward with the screen. You know, I do this to you every now and then. You know. Quiero que ustedes afirman lo que Jesucristo está diciendo sobre ustedes. Y quiero que ustedes repitan después de mí. ¿Ok? Y repiten lo que digo, como si ustedes creen lo que digo. Yo am the salt of the world. Yo soy la sal del mundo. Okay, I'm not sure you believe it. I'm going to try it again. This time, let's try to say it as if we believe it. Ready? En inglés y también en español. Como si nosotros creemos estas palabras. Uno, dos, tres. Yo soy la sal del mundo. Once more, una vez más. Yo soy la sal del mundo. That'll have to do. But there's a catch. And you know there always is a catch. And this is my second point. When Jesus says, you are the salt of the earth, he's not speaking to us as individuals. Cuando Jesucristo dice que ustedes son la sal de la tierra, Él no está hablando a nosotros como si nosotros somos individuos. Él está hablando con nosotros como si nosotros somos un grupo. Jesus is speaking to us as a group. And this is the hard part. You see, the you that Jesus uses is plural. Jesus is speaking to us collectively, as the community of God's people. And when I realize this, my heart goes, uh-oh. Right? There could be trouble in this. You see, for Jesus' words to ring true, I cannot be the salt of the earth unless you are also the salt of the earth. And you cannot be the salt of the earth unless the person sitting across the way is also the salt of the earth. Saltiness is not a characteristic that can be claimed by any one individual in isolation, any more than one little grain of salt is going to flavor your entire dinner. We are salty together, or we are not salty at all. Jesucristo está hablando con nosotros como un grupo, porque yo no soy la sal de la tierra si ustedes no son la sal de la tierra. Y ustedes no son la sal de la tierra si las otras personas, los demás, no son la sal de la tierra. Nosotros somos la sal si nosotros somos juntos. Y si nosotros somos divididos, nosotros no somos la sal de la tierra. Solamente un grano de sal no puede dar sabor a toda una cena, ¿sí? Necesitamos muchos granos de sal. Y Dios necesita toda la iglesia, no solamente un parte. Somos salados juntos, o no somos salados. So I'm going to have us say our chant again. Only this time I'm going to change the words. Quiero que nosotros decimos algo semejante, pero voy a cambiar las palabras. And this time I want you to find somebody else. So let's start out comfortable. Find someone you like. Find somebody sitting next to you. Encuentra una persona que ustedes quieran, una persona que está sentando cerca a ustedes. And look that person in the eye, directly in the eye. Don't blink. You know, my parents used to make us play a little game. You know, it's called the staring game. Whoever blinks first, that's the person who loses. So same game. Find somebody, look somebody in the eye. Encuentra alguna persona y mira esta persona en el ojo, ¿sí? Y no cambia. En el ojo. And I'm going to invite you to say these words with me. I'll say them first, you repeat them after me. Voy a decir las palabras primero y ustedes pueden repetir a mí. You, oh, you're not looking at each other. Come on, look at each other. Miran uno al otro. Okay, you are the salt of the earth. Tú eres la sal de la tierra. You believe it? Now find somebody else. This time be brave. I want you to choose somebody who makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable. Escoge una persona que hace un poquito incómodo. ¿Ok? Es posible que usted puede encontrar una persona que usted no le gusta. ¿Ok? Someone you don't know, someone who makes you feel uncomfortable. All right, look at each other. You know, the more you dislike the person, the better. Okay. You are the salt of the earth. Tú eres la sal de la tierra. Now, I could make you find somebody you like even less. But I'm not going to do that right now. Es posible que yo insisto que ustedes encuentren una persona que a ustedes no les gusta nada. ¿Okay? No les gusta nada, pero no. Tenemos que continuar. I think you've gotten the point. And I want you to believe that this is the same message that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. preached to his congregation gathered at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church on November 17th, 1957. I was only 2 years old. Este es el mismo mensaje que Martin Luther King Jr. predicó a su congregación en 1957. And I'm going to read his words.